Your favorite couples here so easily accessible. Grab your headphones, hit play, turn up the decibels. Master of the pod like a young Skywalker. Shout out to homie Yoda, cause great all we talkers. The crew is firm, so it's love to AZ. You signed the Tempe. Scorch the competition simply. Sure to get you high like some true West Coasters. Look at the flick of the wrist, one guardian Leviosa. LA is always sunny, Comic-Con with honeys. Pokemon and Dunny, sneaker hype, be sticking money. Erase your rows of eyes and see Lee made it funny. Time flies and now my flux capacitor is running. You not rocking with us, you like a muggle wizard, see. Just stupefy yourself with the wave of wizardry. Like Mario standing still in the left's a moving screen. A world full of nerds, but only two nerdly. The dopest show you ever heard, you see. It will be. In your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hear me. Cause we the nerdlies, the nerdly. The dopest show you ever heard, you see. It will be. In your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hear me. Cause we the nerdlies, the nerdly.
Welcome to the Nerdlies. I am Chris.
I am Rachel.
Hi, everybody. How has everything been? Hopefully you had a great week or two or whatever time you took to listen to this in between episodes. But yeah, hopefully you guys are doing well. It's the second month of the year where it's almost winding down because it's February and it's leap year. Mm-hmm. How are you going to celebrate your leap year? Are you going to do the 30 Rock celebration and be like, do Leap Day William cosplay?
No.
Why not?
No, I'm good.
Oh man, I just think it's funny that they're the only ones who ever did anything for a Leap Day theme. I feel like I haven't seen anything else about Leap Day besides 30 Rock.
No. Or they basically made up a holiday.
I want them to make that movie though.
Leap
especially
Day
now
William.
that we're going to talk about it more, but especially now that Jim Carrey's kind of back to doing like normal, like regular comedy that he used to do. Like, I want to see Jim Carrey do that Leap Day William fucking movie for TNT to play every year.
I think they even said in the show that it was called Leap Day Williams, and he's like, like I think what's his nuts? John Marsden?
Yeah, James Marsden.
James Marsden said like, wait, or something like he said, wait, you haven't seen Leap Day Williams, and then she's like, is that a movie about Leap Day William? And it's called Leap Day Williams.
Yeah, because his last name is probably the regular name, Williams. Anyway.
I don't know. I can't remember. But
it's such a goofy episode. If you haven't seen that episode of 30 Rock, I would highly recommend it because it's one of the better ones as well. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff to cover because last couple of weeks have been pretty eventful with news and notes, and we also watched Sonic, the movie, which no spoilers, delightful as hell.
Oh yeah.
But we'll get into that. 100%. Let's see. We're gonna start with. I wanted to start. I do want to start with the Batman stuff because obviously this is a movie that everyone's gonna want to watch when it comes out, hopefully. And I think that we in general are very excited about it because I think Robert Pattinson has grown as a actor, and now we have Zoe Kravitz is gonna be in it. We have a bunch of people like I think who was it? What's his name? Oh, God, he's going to be Penguin or something. Colin Farrell, I believe, is attached to the movie. And I believe Paul Dano is attached to the movie as well as Riddler. So we'll see how everything pans out. But I'm really liking
I'm just glad that, that they're going to do Penguin and Riddler again because I can't believe it's been this long. All we've gotten of them in the last, decade, it seems like, is only the shit that they had on Gotham. Which, honestly, I loved both of the actors that played Penguin and Riddler in that show. I thought they were really good. The show kind of went, but the performances were good from what I did watch.
Especially Penguin. I thought they did a really good interesting version of
really
Penguin
liked him a lot,
in the course of the stuff that we watched. But it was just the show in general.
It was interesting to see that character as a younger man and developing into going from being kind of shy and a pushover and getting fucked over a lot. He turned into a real gangster. Which Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
We were going to talk about they revealed the suit in a very dramatic red tinted thing, which I thought was cool. It was really cool to see like the crest and finally see kind of what the suit would look like. But just a week later, we now have set images of the suit, cool. Which are the stunt suit, which is the link I sent you. I thought you had seen it, but you hadn't yet. I wanted you to react now. Okay. But I think it looks pretty cool. It's hard to for me, it's hard to judge the suit when it's just like, especially static pictures. These are not pictures that are official pictures. These are pictures that somebody was on the set that sent these pictures out. But it's obviously a stunt suit. There's no cape on it because I think they said they're going to CGI the cape. I think it's because they're doing stunts or whatever, like riding the bike. They didn't want the cape to be like a danger to the actor, I'm assuming. So I think there are those CGI dots on the actor. And I don't think that's Robert Pattinson in it because I think it's the stunt driver. Okay. In it. From what people have said.
Why is that what the helmet looks like, or is it a different helmet?
That's I think for whatever it is, whether it's the whole suit, that is what the helmet looks like while he's riding the motorcycle, at least. So we think that might be the actual cowl. I'm not exactly sure.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, the cowl's a little bulbous.
I don't like that
from the thing.
And I guess unless that's just like a goggle thing he's putting on his thing so he can drive in the rain, maybe.
That's what I think it is too.
But,
I think there's
that
goggles
is
for
fucking
motorcycles.
Weird. That looks fucking weird with goggles on it.
Yeah.
So I don't like that at all.
What do you think about the shoulder stuff? I thought the armoring looks fine. Some people thought it looked like the night owl or whatever from Watchmen and stuff like that. For me, I think it's okay because I think it's like year one Batman, him first starting out and figuring out what he should wear.
I don't know. I think that looks like dog shit. I'm sorry. It looks awful. Ugh, I hate that.
Well, one of the other things was that they think that in that scene that they took pictures of as well is that the other person on the motorcycle they're pretty sure is the first look at Catwoman as well.
Okay.
There's a girl stunt driver on a motorcycle right next to the other motorcycle, so they're assuming that's them riding through. I'm not sure what they're gonna be doing, but it looks like that's the first look at what Catwoman is wearing in that scene, at least. But I do think the funniest thing about the leaked stuff is that there's a video, if you want to watch it in that link, where they're actually riding the motorcycle in the rain, and it ends in the funniest way it could possibly end. So she's watching it now. It's a little rainy out. So if you haven't seen that clip, I'll post it on the thing, but it's a little rainy out, so the stunt driver slips out a little bit, and then I'm assuming they're supposed to brake right in front of the camera, and he totally slips and dumps the bike and falls over, which I think is really, really funny.
Oh, no.
Oh, I just don't know why they would release that, but I think that's funny.
Yeah. I don't know, his, I don't like the weird gauntlet things that he has with the bullets in them that look fucking weird.
I think they're arrow things or bolts or whatever. I'm assuming they are.
I've just never seen a cowl look like this before, and it, the proportions of it are so weird to me. The head is very bulbous, and, but then the ears are extremely small. And, again, I'm assuming he doesn't have those weird fucking goggles on all the time, but, still, even taking that out of the equation, I don't like the shape of this, at all. I don't like the shape of the helmet thing. Like I said, unless this is literally just what he wears on a bike, and then, because I don't remember it looking like that in the trailer, did it?
Well, we didn't even see the ears in the trailer thing. The trailer thing was really from forehead down, and it looks pretty close to what the trailer looked like. But I don't know. I think the ears do look a little too far set back or whatever, so.
Ooh, yeah. It's weird because when I saw the trailer initially, I kind of liked But that's the thing is they don't show you the forehead or the ears.
Yeah.
So from like there down, yeah, it's okay. It's like a pretty traditional cowl. And I thought like I liked the little symbol in the middle, like with the guns.
Yeah, I thought the crest is really, really nice.
I thought that was neat. And I mean, I guess I just obviously he doesn't have the cape on. Maybe the cape was covering these shoulder things. But like, if that's a suit, I fucking hate it. I absolutely hate it. I thought it looked okay, but now that they're showing this, like... I just think mainly I just hate the ears. The ears look like shit.
Yeah, I think they look a little too small or like too pushed back or whatever.
It looks like a fucking hockey uniform. Like I don't like it. Or like not even hockey, but like almost like rollerblading or something. Like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like that corrugated like shit. I'm like I don't know. That looks really weird to me.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what it looks like in action. I don't know how it's gonna end up looking once you actually see it on camera or whatever. Maybe the proportions will look a little bit better because like I said, I think that these pictures are not super flattering in general, just because it does look like it's just either just somebody with a camera on the set. They're not setting it up the right way or whatever, not the right lighting or whatever it is either. So who knows whether it's going to look better when you actually like see it on camera and have it actually working or whatever.
And they may need to pull a Sonic on this thing.
Maybe. But yeah, it does look like they're still going to do some After Effects on it just because it is, it is early look at it. One of the other things I wanted to talk to you about was that along the lines of a teaser, because we just did the Batman teaser, we also had a Stranger Things teaser dropped on us, which I wasn't... Let's talk about more things Rachel hates. This is going to be a very hate-filled podcast. I apologize. Well, I'm not purposely being salty. I think it's one of those things like I think everybody expected was going to happen. I thought so, at least. But you had actually heard this from somebody before.
And that's the thing is like, I honestly, I was pretty confident he was dead. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was like 100% sure when they killed him, and because I lost my mind with how sad I was, because he was like one of my favorite characters. If not my favorite character, he was one of my favorite characters, and like, so yeah, I was like pretty devastated. And then one of my clients, she knows too much. She kind of let it slip that she listened to a podcast that he was on, like. I don't know how long after the end of Stranger Things, but he was on some podcast that she listened to, and they made some comment, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm not dead," and like, just like straight up, and they were like, "Wait, what?" And he was like, "Yeah, no." He's like, "No." He's like, "You think they kill me?" And I think the people on the podcast were kind of like, "Are you allowed to even say that?" But he fucking told everybody, like, I guess, like, just a couple months after the show ended that he didn't really die. And then she told me that, and I was like, what? And then she was like, I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have said it. I'm like, yeah! So I've known this for, like, months, but then I kept hoping that it was, like, a joke or it was wrong. But nope, he's alive. He's just fucking magically alive. Like...
Yeah, well, I think that
I just hate cheap shit like that.
But I think they alluded to it at the end of the season, like saying that something about the American that they had in the jail or whatever. So I think a lot of people kind of figured it was going to happen. So I wasn't I was surprised that they let it out this quickly, like officially, as like the first teaser.
I just never made that connection when they said that about the American thing, or I don't know. Like I said, I think everybody who listens to this fairly regularly knows that, like, if you do cheap emotional shit, I'm not on board with that. So I'm not very looking forward to this season.
Yeah, just because the way it starts.
Yeah, because I'm just like, I don't know. To me, it's just like I said, it's just cheap, and for them to have had so many genuinely heartfelt moments and like good, real, like emotional shit in their show, and then to pull something like that just makes me think like I'm hoping this is the last season, because it seems like they're pulling out some really weak shit I don't like.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Speaking of things that you actually do like, though, we're going to move on to Disney Plus news, which was a huge thing. Mm-hmm. They've announced some shows that are going to come back, or movies that are coming back, and this one was huge for us because I didn't think it was ever going to happen. They actually got Rick Moranis out of retirement to do another Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie, which I think is incredible.
It is. It's fucking nuts, dude. Like,
I think you kind of forget how many movies besides Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which I love that movie. Mm-hmm. Like, how many movies Rick Moranis was in that you just enjoyed, like people of our age enjoyed in the late 80s and early 90s with Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
Like, he was in Ghostbusters. He was in Spaceballs. He was in, obviously, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. What else?
Did you already say Little Shop of Horrors?
Nope, did not say that yet. Little Shop of Horrors.
Yep.
A lot of great stuff.
Yeah. The Flintstones.
Yeah.
He was in LA Story. He was in Parenthood.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters, Spaceballs, Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah. He's been in a lot of iconic movies.
Yeah, just amazing. And then he was on SCTV and Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Before, too. And I guess I didn't realize this. I was just looking because I was trying to see, what do you think the last, acting thing that he did? Well, let's say, because he actually did a voice in Brother Bear, apparently.
Oh, interesting.
And so, and I guess they did he did it for a video game, and then they made a sequel to Brother Bear in 2006, so he did that. But I guess in terms of actual,
on-camera acting,
what was the last time, if you had to pick a year, what would be the year you think was the last time he acted?
1998.
7.
Dang, I was so close. I was really close.
We're really close, yeah.
I think I haven't seen him on screen in a long time. Yeah,
and then starting in 2001, he did a he did a voice for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Island of Misfit Toys, which was
okay.
It was a sequel to the first Rudolph.
Interesting.
And then he did this Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Kids TV movie. Then he did Brother Bear in 2003, and then he did sing along with Brother Bear sing along thing. Then the video game, and then he did another thing called The Animated Adventures of Bob and Doug, which I think that was a sketch that he did.
He did that sketch for SCTV.
Dave Thomas, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I guess they made that into a little animated.
Oh, that's cool.
Thing, and so he did the voice for that. And then then he did Brother Bear 2, and then he did another Bob and Doug anniversary thing in 2007. And then this credit was made me go, what? How did I not see this? I guess because the TV show The Goldbergs.
Yeah.
I guess they do a lot of because it's supposed to be in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
So he played Dark Helmet.
Oh yeah. Because
I remember, which I'm how did I not fucking see that? He played Dark Helmet in The Goldbergs again? For what? What is that?
And I think our friend Bernie provided the Dark Helmet prop.
Oh, really?
For the show. Because I remember something.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
If I'm wrong, please correct me if Bernie listens to this. But I think I remember around that time that they were going to shoot that. And when it aired, Bernie posted something about it. And I'm pretty sure it was because he provided the helmet, because they didn't have the set helmet anymore. They had the brand. Bernie had it. So
that's fucking crazy. Cool. I need to look that up, because I totally either I spaced that or I forgot that someone said that.
Yeah,
but he actually played. Yeah, he played Dark Helmet again.
That's pretty cool. Or at least they showed him again. I don't know if they actually. Yeah.
I don't know if this. Okay, so I just went on IMDb and looked up his stuff, and the new movie is on there. I don't know if any of this is confirmed. But right now it's just called Shrunk.
Yep, just called Shrunk. That is confirmed for sure.
And then apparently it's going to be about his son shrinking his family. like, I guess he finds his dad's invention or something.
I think that is what the thing is. And then
he shrinks his family. But did you hear who's playing his son?
No, I didn't read that.
Do you want to like try to guess who they might have cast
as
his son?
Who would they cast as Rick Moranis' son?
Yeah.
Who would I picture?
And if you want to play 20 questions, I'll give you hints.
Oh man. So is it an actor that kind of looks like him, or no?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
He's in the nerdy realm.
He's in the nerdy realm. Okay.
Yeah. In terms of looks.
Is he on a popular show right now? Like,
not a popular show. No, not a show, but he does movies pretty frequently. And he does movies for Disney pretty frequently.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Mm-hmm. Not Zac Efron. I'm just
no. Nerdier looking. We may have talked about him today.
Yeah. Donald Glover. I'm just kidding. No, we didn't.
But we'll get to that.
No, we may have talked about him today.
Yeah.
That is. We
were talking about Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, is it Josh Gad?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That is strange.
Yeah, he's attached to it as the son.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any problems with Josh Gad.
No.
I think he's very funny.
Yeah.
So
it could work.
It could work. I'm just excited to see Rick Moranis.
I know.
I hope they give him. I hope they give him a lot of stuff.
Well, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I was curious. I've actually an article came up just a few days after that announcement, kind of recalling to another article that may have come out a couple years ago. Someone was just kind of wondering what happened to him, and it's a very complicated thing, but basically it came down to the fact that his wife got a very aggressive form of breast cancer right around that time, 96, 97, and unfortunately they obviously treated her and everything, but it was so aggressive that she passed away. And so Rick Moranis, I believe he had 2 kids, maybe 3, I don't know. Do you know how many kids Rick Moranis had?
I do not know. I'll look it up.
I thought it was 2 sons, but
I'll look it up. You keep going.
He may have had a daughter as well. I can't remember. But yeah, so unfortunately she passed away, and he's just a really awesome man, and so
he has 2 kids.
2 kids, yeah. But he just stepped up to the plate and was like, no, I have to be a dad. My wife passed away. I can't, I can't, and it was partly just that I have to take care of them. And then I think he just kind of, I just like that it's refreshing to know that there's someone out there that just genuinely cared enough about their family to be like, oh, I'm going to give up on this thing that I love. It's not you don't have a lot of people that do that in life. And in general, you can see how it really could have been difficult for his kids,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's, I guess it's different and stuff. And some, I guess, I don't really know what I'm saying. But with single parents and stuff that, I just feel like it could have been easy for him to, and I wouldn't fault him for wanting to have a career and everything, but it could have been easy for him to just be like, oh, I'll just get a nanny, or I'll do this and that. And then but in the end, that it's already traumatizing enough that their mom died.
Yeah.
And then to go through that and, and then still try to have see your dad, but your dad's really famous and busy
all the time,
all the time, and but it would just I know there are probably people that could have done it and maybe it would have been okay or whatever, but to know that could have really fucked them up and had consequences for their life in general with him not being there is really refreshing to me. And so I was just that just made me super happy, and even more happy that he's finally getting to kind of go back into it. And hopefully maybe he'll fall back in love with it, because I swear there was always performances of his that he did that I was he could fucking get an Academy Award.
I think he's a great actor. He's a very charming and
just very genuine and just because he always played sweet characters, but it was never it never felt disingenuine or anything that. But he could also play Darth Helmet and stuff like that, with funny stuff too. But yeah, he was just very naturally charismatic. And then just reading that about him made me have so much more respect for him as a person. And I was just like, oh, this makes me like so happy, just super happy that he's getting recognition again and like well-deserved recognition. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think everybody's very excited to see him come back, and I think it's interesting that they're even going to go the route of doing another Honey and Shrunk the Kids, just because that is.
But the thing is like,
I'm glad it's not a remake of Honey and Shrunk the Kids. Yes. I'm glad it's continuation, because the Honey and Shrunk the Kids movies were fun as hell. Like. Both of them. I even liked the second one. I haven't watched the second one in a long time, but I remember liking both of them.
Yeah, I did too. And like, it's weird because like, you kind of think back on it now, and
I don't know if they did a third one. Now I gotta look.
No, well, it was just Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like they made like a made-for-TV one, but it may not have had Rick Moranis. Keep going as you were while I look.
And then I lost my train.
Sorry. My fault. I started thinking about how many other Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I guess what I was trying to say is, like, Disney has definitely, like, done some pretty, like, lame movies.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, like, in terms of, like, just, like, lame live action movies where I'm just kind of like, like, I don't know that the world needed this. And, like, or the premises are just stupid or whatever, but, like, that was one that, like...
they did make 3, by the way.
Oh, okay. What was the other one?
Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
Oh, okay.
They did a third one. That was in 94 or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I definitely like the first two. Yeah, for some reason, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was just, like, such a fun movie.
It really is. And it was one of those, like, forced perspective things that, like, you didn't think that they could do, and it was just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. But yeah, I'm glad that they're going towards doing stuff like this. That's going to be able to bring these things to a new generation in a new way. And another one that they're going to do that I was excited about is I obviously love the Mighty Ducks series. Mm-hmm. Love the Mighty Ducks. That was the thing that got me into watching hockey and enjoying it as a sport. Although watching Mighty Ducks again, there are a lot of rules broken in the Mighty Ducks series. That's neither here nor there. But they are going to do a television series of the Mighty Ducks.
So cool.
And they brought Emilio Estevez back. And I haven't seen Emilio Estevez in forever. He's definitely looking older. They showed a shot of him with some kids on the ice. But it's just great to see Coach Bombay back on the ice with the kids. And they said that they're going to have most of the original cast come back. And stuff like that. So if they can get Josh Jackson to come back and be Conway, you know, like that's gonna be great. And get all those kids. Get Keenan still doing stuff. He was in the movie. Get him back. Get him back on the ice. You know, I'm excited to see what happens with that. Just because, you know, like getting these guys back and getting the original people to kind of buy in to a new story. I appreciate that. I think that they are bringing some cool stuff to Disney Plus and giving you that value. Speaking of cool things that you like, we mentioned him a second ago, but Rachel just had a celebrity encounter.
Of sorts.
Yeah, of sorts. But you tell the class about your fun experience.
So I work in La Cañada, and so, like, if I don't bring my food, I either usually just walk over to Rite Aid and get something, or I walk over to Gelson's, because there's a Gelson's supermarket that's right next door.
Yeah.
And so they have, tons of food. And so, anyway, so I usually just walk over there and then walk back. So I went on my break and went to go get my food, and I kind of went to the right of the store to get something. And then as I was going back to go to check out, I just see this dude walking toward me, and I was telling Chris, it was unlike any other celebrity sighting experience I think I've ever had, because most of them, like, I'll see someone, like, from afar or something, and then it'll take me a minute to process.
To, like, register that's like, someone that you've seen before.
You look at the face, and then you kind of take a second, and you're like, wait, is that? Oh, that's that person. And then, but this was, like... he did not look anything like anyone else. So he like he could not like there was no double take needed. It was like he just walked out of a music video and into my face. Because, well, like sometimes like you think like most of the time celebrities may be wearing a hat or like
big sunglasses or whatever,
or wearing, dressing kind of frumpy or like maybe their hair's different or something. But like, nope, had the full like hair that I know him having, the beard that I know him having. And then he's just straight up wearing, all I described it as when I told people is he's basically wearing a pimp coat. He was wearing a legit floor-length fur coat. And that's all I could see because it's gigantic. And I don't even remember what shoes he's wearing. But he just had this gigantic fur coat on. And it was just immediately I looked into his eyes and I was like, that's fucking Childish Gambino. Oh my God. So I had like no processing time. I was just like, this is him. This is Lando. He's walking
This is America.
This is America, yes. And that was literally, I played that when I got back to work because someone didn't know who he was. And I was like, well, let me school you. Because you should know. Yeah, and so I immediately, one of my coworkers was at the checkout already because we pretty much all have the same break time. So I literally like run up to her and I just like, she's checking out, but I just grabbed her arm and I was like whispering in her. I'm like, oh my God, that was Childish Gambino. That was Donald Glover. Oh my God. And she's like, oh, I knew it. She's like, I thought it was him when he walked by. And then I just kind of go, oh my God. And then I was like, okay, I'll let you finish checking out. And then I walked behind her and then I was waiting to check out and I just look up at the checkout guy and he goes, yeah, Childish Gambino. I was like, I know.
You're like, yep.
But then I'm looking at other people's faces for recognition, and no one else. It's just literally me and this checkout dude that know. And I was like freaking out and like waving at my face. And actually, I looked over at this other cashier because she kind of knows me because I go there a lot.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Are you warm?" I was like, "Mm-hmm."
A little.
Because I think I probably turned super red, and I was like, "Oh my God." And then so I finished checking out and like started walking out and my friend waited for me and so I was still going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I turn around and he's literally walking into checkout at the cashier that I was just at. Literally right by me. I was like, so then I'm thinking, oh gosh, should I turn around and take a picture? Oh no, that's weird. Like, what if he sees me? So I like walked out of Gelson's and then I like sat there for a minute and I thought about trying to take a picture through the double doors after having walked out and I'm like, no, this is weird. What are you doing? Stop. You're just going to get this horrible back of head picture that no one's going to believe you and it doesn't matter anyway. But mainly I just wanted to take a picture of that fucking jacket.
Yeah.
But I'm just one of those people that I'm just like, because I'm just looking at him at the, like, thinking in that moment, if I don't say, hey, man, I love your work right now, it's too late. The words just did not come. It was just like, my brain just went, holy shit. It's Donald Glover. And I was just like, I made eye contact and I smiled. So that was about all I could do in my life right then and then. So anyway.
You did good. You're fine.
I'm awful at meeting like people like in that kind of setting. I'm just like, nope. I could go back. I could walk back right now and be like, hey man, like, can I get a picture? But my brain is just like, no. You're too awkward. Keep going. Although actually my hair and makeup look okay today, so I feel like
So you should have done it.
No, but anyway.
It's fine.
I made eye contact. That's all I can do.
Childish Gambino has looked into your eyes. That's all you needed.
For like half a second.
Yeah.
So my life is just made now.
Your life has changed. That's what it is. Your life has changed.
It's just like I said, mainly it's just that fucking jacket. Like I want to find out who makes it.
Yeah.
Just so I can show you what it looks like because it's amazing. Like I just want to be like, dude, that fucking jacket is pimp. I should have said something. God damn it.
It's okay.
It was such a cool jacket. I just told everybody he's wearing a fucking pimp coat, man. He just does not care.
I think you're more. Yeah, maybe you're more excited to meet the jacket than you are meeting Donald Glover. Maybe it might be even.
No. It was just, it was nuts, man.
That's funny.
Still shook by that. Oh, but I was gonna look up Emilio Estevez, and it's actually like it seems like he pretty much stopped around the same time that our homie
Rick Moranis stopped.
Rick Moranis.
Oh, interesting. moving on from that, I wanted to cover. We finally are finishing Star Wars Rebels because we also started Clone Wars the last season. What have you been thinking about the 4th season? I think the biggest reaction we had was like I can't believe they're doing some of this stuff because this show was made for kids. Mm-hmm. And some of the stuff they're showing is just so like kind of rough even for us, to see.
Yeah. And it took a while. Like most of the earlier episodes were a little bit more tame in terms of storyline.
Yeah.
Not
being, and I feel like that's the Dave Filoni thing. Like he gives you something that's good for the whole family, and then once you buy in, like he has the freedom to like do whatever the hell he wants. Mm-hmm. Because I think even with Clone Wars, like later on in the series, they were doing a lot of stuff that's like, holy crap, like we're really in it. Mm-hmm.
100%. Yeah. But yeah, like it's it started off more like I wouldn't say playful so much, but like the stakes weren't super high, and then like and they didn't show anything too super violent or like stuff like that. But so in one of the later episodes, basically there's, I guess I shouldn't say like exactly what this technology is, but there's some kind of weaponized technology that basically causes people to disintegrate or be cremated, basically alive, which I was just like, that's fucked up. I'm sorry. That's messed up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's right off the bat of the 4th season. Like, holy crap, we're starting in a really dark place.
And like, yeah, and not only that, like that this character essentially like betrayed her own people and made this weapon that is being used on her own people, and that's like, it was pretty messed up. Like
that's a deep cut or a deep storyline.
And then like, and then but then like, I think my favorite thing about it, and like, I guess like, is it okay if we're spoiling?
Yeah,
things?
I mean,
like
Star Wars Rebels ended.
I guess, yeah, but
ago,
like,
so.
I just finally like, this has been a new way to be able to like actually watch it.
Yeah,
which I don't think it's been super accessible. Like,
no,
except for
it wasn't,
like maybe on like YouTube or whatever to watch it before. So now it's actually all like together and stuff. But essentially, like, I didn't realize that because they kept kind of hinting at the fact that like Sabine is like, it's almost like part of her birthright. She has like a very well-to-do Mandalorian family, and like I think her mom was like a senator or something like that.
Yeah, she's a leader
or
of some
kind of leader. Yeah, and
I don't know the whole Mandalorian hierarchy.
Yeah, I can't remember either. But just like kind of like surprisingly and randomly, they introduce, like, they go to Mandalore. I can't remember what their mission is on Mandalore.
Well, they're just she needs to they're just there and trying to unify Mandalore, trying to get the Empire off of Mandalore.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
And so Sabine has the Darksaber, and that is, I believe, and now I'm trying to remember back to Clone Wars, and whether or not there was there only ever one Darksaber, or did...
Yes, there's only one Darksaber.
Okay.
Yes.
I couldn't remember if there was multiple people that wielded Darksabers, or if it was just one, like, that only existed.
I think it's the only one that existed.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Pre Vizsla made or whatever, he made the Darksaber, and it only is one that was ever made.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, so the leader, whoever the leader of Mandalore is, carries the Darksaber. And so I forget, is Sabine given it, or did she?
They find it.
They find it
on.
Okay.
They find it on the planet that Maul was on.
That's right.
And she takes it.
Okay.
Because it's hers, and then she has to try to earn it from that other guy, because he tries to take it too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
she earns it in ritual combat.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so she is wielding it now, but she doesn't feel like she deserves it or that she wants it. because of her previous actions and stuff like that. But she's tried a few times to give it to other people, and they don't want it, or they tell her that they think she's the one. And so up until now, I kind of thought like she would, but then with this new kind of more revealing episode that she had done some kind of terrible things, they reveal that Satine, who was I forget if she was the queen or the head of Mandalore.
She was the head of a very major clan on Mandalore.
Yeah, and
Obi-Wan's love interest in the Clone Wars.
And he and her fell in love, and I loved that storyline because it was just like mainly it was just unique to see, like, I mean, you just never saw Obi-Wan in a relationship ever.
Yeah.
And so that was cool to be like, oh, he was in love with someone. That's pretty awesome. Because that's the thing that's like, I feel like is skimmed over in a lot of, like, which I get it's like skimmed over in the more animated stuff. But at the same time, like, you know, they show a lot more of like Padme and Anakin's relationship and stuff in the Clone Wars as well. If
you have any interest in trying to enhance your appreciation, if that's the right word, or any like the importance of why the prequels were there, the Clone Wars as a series it enhances those movies so much, because you just don't get so many stories that you would never or didn't just get to see on screen at all.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I honestly feel like you could just, like, we could just get rid of the prequels and just have the Clone Wars, and that's a far superior thing in its right, and its artistic portrayals and writing and everything is far superior to anything.
You could watch the Clone Wars as a series, and then the one scene in Revenge of the Sith of Darth Vader or Anakin turning, and that's it. And you're good.
Pretty much.
You don't really need to watch one or two.
Well, like, honestly, but like that's the thing is, like, I feel like if you were to, you know, I guess maybe take a kid who like knows about, like, let's say you take a kid who's only seen like the 4 through 6 or whatever, and you tell him, hey, like, would you want to see like what Anakin was like you know, a younger version of him? And they're like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. Just show them the fucking Clone Wars. Just show them the Clone Wars, and then be like, you know what, there was actually a movie they made where like actual people play him. And then show them that. And like, I almost feel like, because I feel like in a way it's like they made Clone Wars because they thought like, oh, we can like have an offshoot of Star Wars
for TV
that,
or whatever,
you know, in the prequel period, which usually that's the lesser of the things. But in this case, I feel like the TV show was far superior to the source material. So it's like the other way around. It's like, let's give them like the really cool thing, and then if they like it that much, they can watch like the prequel.
I think that Rebels or Clone Wars is a far superior version of what they were trying to do in the movies, and also like Rebels just adds so much more to the lore of everything that was going on before A New Hope, and as we're watching this season, it's really ramping up to them discovering the Death Star. So like all the little hints and stuff like that you get are just so interesting. And then you get these little...
That was the thing that was still kind of like... I feel like a bad Star Wars fan because there's people that know like all of the books. And like that is a territory that I don't like have any like knowledge of at all. And there's also comics. And then, you know...
You don't have to know
I know you don't,
everything.
But like...
You don't.
There's parts that I wish I knew, and then like stuff like, mainly it's because there's stuff that's happening in Rebels that I'm like, oh god, like this is really interesting, and I don't know anything about it. I know there's like, it's all canon and everything, but like I want to know more like about it and stuff. So it's making me want to like dive like head in and get like completely immersed in all the lore and everything. So yeah. Because I still haven't ever watched the anime of it. And I've always wanted to watch that too.
Yeah, and we'll be able to find that and watch it at some point too.
But yeah, so I want to, like, we're almost finished with this, and then I kind of want to go back and start rewatching the Clone Wars, because we watched the one episode and I just kind of was like underwhelmed by it.
I thought it was a bold choice to start out with an episode about the clones. Like, I thought that was an interesting choice because we've been waiting so long for season 7 and the end of the Clone Wars as a series. And you get a first episode that is about, I mean, although I love the clones in the Clone Wars because I think that's the best iteration of them, and why you even care about the clones at all in the movies is because of this series. But yeah, I thought it was very bold of them to just start off with like, okay, this is a clone adventure for the first episode when there's only going to be like 12, I think.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, I can see how it felt a little underwhelming, but I have faith that the season is going to turn quite a bit after that.
Yeah, no, I obviously, like, I have full faith. The only thing that, like, Rebels is, Rebels happens before Rogue One happens.
Yes.
Okay, and it's going to, when they have the Cassian Andor series, it's going to be at the same time as Rebels.
Yeah.
And then right before that is the Obi-Wan series and Solo, and then the Clone Wars is before that.
Clone Wars is before Revenge of the Sith, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's between, so it goes episode 1, episode 2, Clone Wars, episode 3, then Obi-Wan and Solo.
In that same range,
yeah. At the same time, and then the Cassian Andor and Rebels series, and then New Hope and Rogue One.
Yeah.
Or Rogue One, then New Hope.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing. That's why I was sad that, like, it's happening after the Clone Wars, and she obviously died in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. I just...
you just really wanted to see
me because, yeah, and that was the thing, was, like, I just really, like I said, I just really enjoyed that storyline, and seeing him in love, and then losing that, and that being, like, kind of making sense for him being the way he is later on.
Yeah,
in life.
yeah.
Because, I mean, if you think about it,
living
like,
alone and all that
stuff.
Yeah,
he lives alone. I mean, there's other reasons for him to live alone, because he feels like he has to protect Luke. But, like, it makes sense as to, like, I think kind of his mentalities and stuff like that later in life. But I just loved that in this, they showed Satine's sister.
Yeah.
And that already, like, it was crazy because, like, as soon as she took her helmet off, I, like, knew it. Like, I don't know how I remembered it, but I remembered what Satine looked like, and I just, like, immediately was like, oh my god, that's got to be, like, her daughter or something, like, yeah. So I was, like, freaking out about it. I was like, oh my god. But, yeah, so that was Satine's sister, and she actually... Sabine actually gave her the Darksaber, and she accepted it. Because at first she said no, and then kind of after the battle that happened, like, she gave it to her, and that made me so happy.
Yeah.
It was just like, like I said, I loved Satine, and she was such a brave warrior, and, like, the way she died was so fucked up and terrible, and, like, because she really wanted to try to save Mandalore, and, like...
Yeah.
She was one of the good ones.
Yeah.
And she's definitely, like, our Mandalorian, the way. And so, yeah, so that made me choked up a lot that that she was...
It got back to the family, yeah.
It gave back to the family, yeah, exactly. So, and, yeah, and this happened before Mandalorian.
Yeah, because Mandalorian's after the events of Return of the Jedi, it's way before. So we don't know how that guy ends up getting the Darksaber in a Mandalorian. Yeah. Which is insane. Yeah, so that means, and if I just spoiled that for you, I'm sorry. You should have probably watched it.
But, yeah, I mean, that's honestly the only way, I think, unless you read any of the books, is that I think that's the only way you would even know that a Darksaber existed.
Yeah.
But
because there's a lot of people who watch The Mandalorian and they're like, what the hell is this fucked up lightsaber?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know what it is. But if you watched either Clone Wars or
Rebels,
you know what it is. But yeah, so it's really intriguing to me that like somehow he was able to acquire it, because unless like now, I think that's mainly the timeline of books that I would want to read is between Rebels and like Mandalorian era. Of things, because I just am interested in the race of Mandalorian and like the factions and stuff like that and how it came to be.
Yeah, and I don't know if they really dove into that a ton yet.
Mm-hmm. They might. Yeah, so that's I guess I'm really, because I really want to know like what happened on Mandalore that made it so that. But I'm wondering is this trying to fill in all of that in its time as it goes? Is that like
I don't know
in terms of lore? Like, I'd be curious if anyone out there is like a hardcore Star Wars fan, and like all the books and everything. If there is any explanation about like Mandalore and such, like, I'm just interested to know,
to figure that out. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it'll be very interesting. But going back to Rebels, like, definitely the last couple of episodes are so emotionally fucked up. Emotionally charged, yes.
Like, just people dying that I didn't expect to die, like, ever. Especially it being a kid show.
Yeah.
It was a big death. And, I just wasn't prepared for it. I was like, oh, like, it was literally, like, designed to hurt you.
Yeah.
Because, like, they literally just told each other that they love each other, and, like, you've watched, 5 seasons of them, like, you can tell, like, they like each other, but, like,
they never really
there was no relationship established, and they finally kind of give that to you, and then, like, death. It just, like, ripped my fucking heart out. and then it was crazy, because I was literally just, as we were watching the later episodes, I was just telling Chris, like, I still can't believe, like, well, it was after this death happened, I was like, okay, so, like, now it makes me sad that, like, I never got to see, like, but I was like, did Ahsoka really die on that planet?
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing with the show before this, is, like, I almost wonder if they were like, oh, man, the, not the Obi-Wan death, but the Darth Maul death was so anticlimactic, because it really was. It was like there was no fight. He just like went, yeah, and he stabbed him in the chest. And that was it. It was just, there was literally no fight. It was like a 2-second boxing match. It was just like, boom, you're done. And like, which is, it is what it is. It's for a kid's show, but at the same time, like, they had some pretty epic saber battles.
Yeah.
And other things.
But I think it was like...
But it's just, guys, I'm like, is it just because they're both so fucking old and they're just like...
Yeah, because I think they were saying, like, I was reading up on that too. It's like an illustration of how far Obi-Wan has come in his training, because the first time they fought, or as they fought, he was not ready to deal with the energy of Darth Maul, or like trying to save him still, not really just kill him.
Yeah.
But I think now in his old age, he knows that this is an enemy that you can't save and you can't bring with you or whatever. Like, so he did the minimal amount of moves he needed to do to get him. And like, there's kind of an art in that, but yeah, I can see how like visually it is very kind of like stilted.
Yeah. Which like, it is true that like, I think they kind of address that too. Like in Rebels and stuff, is like with the Jedi training, like you're never really supposed to attack. Like you're supposed to just defend.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's like he kind of knew, like, okay, I'm only, like, this is all, like, I know what he's here to do. And, like, he's here to kill me because I chopped his fucking legs off. Like, he hates me. Like, and he just has hated me from the beginning.
Yeah.
And so, like, he's just, but that's the thing is, I don't know that Darth Maul really ever hated him. I think he hates what he represents as being a Jedi.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing with Maul in his arc, is that he went from being a part of the Sith, and then I think honestly it was like him seeing the betrayal of Ventress and his own brother betraying him, and realizing like the Sith like it's literally like it's just power
yeah,
and yeah, and then seeing that in the Jedi is its own way, like a lot about, you know, power in its own right, but then righteousness and at what cost, kind of things like that. So he was
the Jedi fuck up too. Jedi fuck up a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And so, he was in like, and I think that was the reason that like they show that it's Ezra, that he's very tempted by Maul because he makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
He really isn't like, you know, he is evil in his own way, but in the way he presents, the way he feels is very relatable and like understandable.
Yes.
And so it's interesting that he took this turn from being Sith to I want to be in the middle. And I think that's because then you kind of learn about the middle and the Bendu and all that. And I think he was kind of trying to be his own version of the Bendu, but he
was like a destructive version of the middle.
Exactly.
He was opposite of the middle, the other side of the middle.
Yeah.
If there is a thing.
Well, and like the thing is like the Bendu, this creature that is, I think I don't know that they ever explain like his origin. Yeah. They talk a little bit about him, but I believe he was just a very force-strong entity because he's an animal, technically. Yeah. I guess he's some kind of animal alien hybrid thing, like a monkey man.
Yeah.
Basically. But he's this very force-sensitive being and was just the middle. He didn't, you know, he wasn't the dark or the light. He's just the middle. But he's also very much like a pacifist.
Yeah.
So that's his interpretation of being quote unquote in the middle is like, I don't fight with you. I don't fight with you. I literally just reside in this middle ground and I'm not getting involved in anything. And so when, you know, he's asked for, it's like he's basically allowing them to get the knowledge of the Force through him and be a conduit for that. But then when they ask him for assistance, he just won't do it.
Yeah.
He's like, nope, I won't be involved in anything. And he can also get very angry.
He's a very strong beast.
Yeah. So he ended up being destructive in his own way because he was so upset by being asked to join a fight that he didn't want to join. And then with Maul, it's like he wanted to kill both sides, basically. He wanted his own version of power, but just being not beholden to one or the other. He wanted to be an anarchist, basically.
Yeah.
An anarchist of the Force. And so, but yeah, he felt the need that both needed to be destroyed in order for the middle to rule and exist. So yeah, that was crazy. But, so I guess in his thing, I think he just basically channeled this hatred of the Jedi in particular into Obi-Wan. And that's why he wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
And also, he just knew, he's one of the, most powerful Jedi to exist.
And it would make a statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so then it was once he, realizes it and as he's dying, I think that was a very powerful scene is, as he's, he has the lightsaber through his chest, he realized, I think he kind of looks over and you see, or I was did that happen right then in that scene where he sees Luke running?
I don't know that he's.
Or does that happen
at the end?
Okay.
Yeah, but he says he
feels something, and he all of a sudden I think it's as he's dying, he goes he just looks at him and he's like, oh, he's like, this one exists, or the one exists, I think is what he says, and Obi-Wan just says yes, and I'm here to protect him. And he just kind of he goes, wow, he goes, there really was the one, or something along those lines.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's so he basically was it looked like he was joyful in that, knowing that there's something. This chosen one that's coming to maybe do what I was going to do, maybe do it better. That was very poetic in that moment too. Yeah. And I kind of want to go back and watch that again. Cause just the way it's this realization as he was dying that that's why he was able to like look into Obi-Wan in his visions and know that like this one exists still. And
if you guys want to watch, if you guys love Star Wars, I highly suggest, if you haven't watched the animated series, they are very, very good. Both Clone Wars and Rebels are well worth your time if you haven't. And we're still, I think we're 4 or 5 episodes away from finishing Rebels, and that should be done relatively quickly. They're only like 20-minute episodes. So another thing I wanted to cover as we wrap up Star Wars, just quickly, I wanted to say Billie Eilish's Bond song did not disappoint. I listened to it about 15 times the first day it dropped. The first time I was like, okay, interesting, and then I started listening to it more and more. I'm like, I love this. I think it's such a great mood for the song or for the movie, and I can't wait. I can't wait for the movie to come out. So as a Bond fan, very, very excited for the title sequence with Billie Eilish's title song for No Time to Die. That is my mini review of that. But as we get to the main topic of the show, not the main topic because we've talked about a whole bunch of shit, but the one that we did want to cover was we went and watched Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic was an incredible delight. I think it was one of those things where I didn't know what to expect because we had the redesign that was interesting. We didn't know what it was going to turn out like. The first trailer didn't look very good because the design was so rough, but now they redesigned it. The trailer looked better, and I was like, okay, maybe it's going to be at least watchable. It is made for kids, so who knows what they're going to do with it or what part of Sonic lore. We don't have a lot of like video game movies that are good with video games.
Yeah.
A lot of them change a lot of lore or like change a lot of elements that make it not feel like the video game. This is legitimately the first one I feel like that really, really like gave you everything that the video game would have given you.
Yeah.
Except for they just lived it or seeded it in the real world for now. Like, is that how you felt about it too?
Yeah. Like I was like, I think this might be one of my, if not the favorite video game adaptation movie like ever.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm torn between. I think it is a better movie than Detective Pikachu, probably.
Yeah.
I did really love Detective Pikachu, although it's not the typical Pokemon movie or Pokemon game that you would usually play. Like, it really lived in that world a very successful way. But I do think this overall is probably a better movie. Surprisingly.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like, it, apart from it, like, it is a kid's movie. And that's the thing, is, like, you can't go into it, like, expecting it to be, like,
it's not going to be Marriage Story.
It's not a PG-13 comedy. Like, it's not, it's not for adults. Like, it has its moments that are for people who love Sonic, which is awesome. But it is really to try to get kids to like Sonic.
Yeah.
And I think it succeeds. I always love when they like throw in like retro, like, kind of like 8-bit homages and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that always gets me. But like, Ben Schwartz is just a genius.
Oh, I love that guy.
And he's just perfect. Like, now that I hear him as Sonic, I'm like, I don't know. I know there's other versions, but I don't like any of the other ones. Like, he's always too, like, I don't know. They always play him. I mean, I guess it's just from the beginning. He was always just very like, oh my God, over the top. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, over
like,
the top attitude, cool guy, that 90s cool guy voice. Yeah.
But like, which, it like works for like what they did with him in the video games and stuff. But, and I guess that's the thing is like, I mean, obviously all I've ever played was like Sonic and Tails, but there's really like no quote unquote storyline to any of it until later on.
Yeah.
Because it's really just, you are a hedgehog, you run very fast, you collect these things, you run through loops, and then you fight this bad guy at the end, and that's it. Like, and he's Dr. Robotnik, and he has robots, and he has like all these like crazy weapons that shoot things, and he has like drone robot things that shoot things that are actually real now, which is crazy. Anyway, but like, So it really gave it a story that still incorporated like shit from the game. And then like, you know, we did eventually like later on get like some cartoons and stuff of Sonic when we were kids.
Yep.
But not a ton. And so anyway, like they just came up with a really fun creative story, and like
he brought a really
Marsden was great.
Marsden's great. Yeah,
like,
I love Marsden.
It was so cute.
Much.
Like I didn't really like the dynamic between him and his wife very much. It kind of like it was too cutesy like, a lot of the time, and I'm just like, this is not realistic life, but okay, whatever. I'll just let it go.
It's pretty funny.
Like I'm fine with it that, you know, it's awesome that it's an interracial couple. I think that's great. And like, but then just the fact that her sister just inexplicably hates him, even though he's like literally like the sweetest, charmingest, like wholesome, like sweetheart, like holy crap, cute, like, you know,
he's a small town cop, like,
and he's just a good guy. And then like inexplicably, your sister just like, you need to divorce him. He's a piece of shit. And I'm like, what?
What about James Marsden do you not like? What is it?
Look at this man. Is it like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird. I'm just like, okay, why is this a thing?
Yeah, that was it's a strange
so, like that part I didn't really care for so much.
Is this that like typical like in-law thing where like the in-laws don't like you sort of thing, I guess, maybe is what they were trying to lean into, but it was.
But then like her daughter loves him. Yeah. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, I did think
we'll go into mild spoilers here. Yeah. But yeah.
I did really like the part where like the little girl gives him the shoes.
Oh, I love that.
That made me so happy.
I was
like, that's so cute. Like, because she really was the only one of that little family that I liked. Was
Can I say
girl.
though? I will say
she was so exuberant and like, oh my god, that's awesome. Like,
I will say the product placement in this movie was a little bit. Some of it was
too on the nose.
Some of it was too on the nose. Some of it is really, really funny. Mm-hmm. Like the recurring Olive Garden joke is like funny to me.
That was
because they are I guess they would have gotten the product placement because obviously he gives them the gift card at the end of the movie, which is like a payoff of that like joke.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because they like make they make mention of it, but they're also kind of making fun of it at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's like, are they?
Yeah, is this really product placement
or is it just a joke? I thought that was really, really funny. But yeah, like the shoes was a sweet moment. It was funny that, you know, it's a product placement thing for a Puma shoe or whatever. That
I didn't even really catch that. But
yeah,
that's cool.
That doesn't. I don't know if that. I think that shoe exists, but it doesn't. I don't think it exists in that color or whatever. But yeah, I think it's really cool that they did that. There's a really cool way to give him his iconic look by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You know, give him something to like upgrade, quote unquote.
Yeah. That was a nice touch. I liked that a lot. But like I said, aside from, like I said, I didn't really dig the relationship with his wife. I really feel like it could have just been him being the small town cop and wanting to move away.
Yeah.
Whatever. I didn't really feel like she was a very necessary character. She was cute. Like, she did a good job in what she had, but they didn't give her much.
Yeah.
So, like, it was just kind of like...
If they would have given her more, it would have been fine.
Yeah, yeah. Or, like... Yeah, but like I said, again, I just didn't love the writing between them either. I was just kind of like, this is a little too sappy. Yeah, other than that, like, James Marsden's great. Ben Schwartz is great. And fucking Jim Carrey is just
prime Jim Carrey. Really just
amazing.
It's
like, I literally,
where,
it's like, yeah.
where they know they hired Jim Carrey, and they weren't. Obviously, Jim Carrey's been doing a ton of like artsy stuff lately, and is an incredibly gifted actor.
Oh yeah,
like in his own right, gifted actor, gifted kind of bright person. Really kind of weird, but yeah, he's a bright. He's got something going on.
He's eccentric.
Yes.
I would say that's how I would describe him, because he really is like. He's pushed his art form to like an extreme, and like that is, to me, that is to be applauded.
Yeah.
And then he's also like kind of realized how much fame is bullshit.
Yeah.
And kind of went into hiding, but then like has still been creative, and he's been painting and like does all sorts of shit, and like is still like a really fucking awesome dude. and he's still, you know, eccentric and crazy, and it's really funny too, just genuinely funny.
And that's the thing. Like, I think they hired him, and they're like, Jim, just please be as crazy as you want as Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah.
And he really leaned into that, and that made this role just so much more enjoyable to watch because he went for it. He totally put.
Well, and I think, and another thing too is I feel like he doesn't get cast as a villain enough.
Oh yeah.
Because I think a lot of times in his other movies, he was either like the leading man, you know, like in The Mask and Ace Ventura and stuff like that.
Because he's generally likable.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they thought like, oh, you know, this is where we need to put him. But then then when he got to be when he got to be the Riddler, like, oh my God, you can tell he fucking loved that.
He loved that role.
He loved that. Like he just was like, oh my God, I get to be evil. This is amazing.
Ham it up,
And like so, like. Yeah, because you can tell like he loves to just like throw his body around and just do crazy shit and like that, because it's like a normal person acting that way is funny, but then an evil villain like is where you can just act however the fuck you want, even more so, like is like mwah. So he just fucking ate the scenery, and I loved every minute of that movie.
Yes.
I fucking like that was one of. Growing up, that was like, I watched that shit all the time because I loved Jim Carrey in that movie. I thought he was so good.
Which one? In Batman and Robin?
Yeah. I liked, as a kid, I loved Batman and Robin a lot.
Oh, wait, no, it's Batman Forever was the one that was with him.
Oh, yeah, Batman Forever. And I liked Batman and Robin as well, just because I had a big crush on Poison Ivy, I guess, back in that time. But anyway, we've talked about it, yeah. We did a whole episode with...
our friends over at the Long Box
Sessions about that movie, and that was a great time.
We're gonna have to do that again with them.
Definitely doesn't hold up, but like I definitely was as a little kid, I was like, yeah, I fucking love this movie.
But yeah, Jim Carrey like really showed up and just let him
like,
throw.
You remember how you were back then? Do that. Do exactly that, and just ham it up and like. I really don't think it's gotten to be that many villains. So I think he was just like, fuck yeah, I get to be a villain and like be crazy and be Dr. Robotnik. I think someone was saying, I read somewhere that like part of it may have been that I think his son is a Sonic fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read that.
And so it was probably like, oh, Dad, that's awesome. You should do that. Like
I am so happy that this movie did well. And if you haven't gotten to watch it, go watch it, please, because it is a very fun movie. It's not like, I wouldn't put it on the level of like Into the Spider-Verse, where like Into the Spider-Verse is like almost a perfect movie. Yeah. This is a great kids movie. It's a great afternoon watch.
It has, that's the thing is like, there had its sappy moments, also has some pretty cute, heartfelt moments.
And Ben Schwartz does an amazing job of making Sonic a sympathetic character. God. He's a very sweet voice.
The way he does his tone and stuff like that. Like, it's definitely, like, you like him a lot.
Yeah.
And, like, you feel sad for him that he's lonely. And, like, he has a very, like, sweet quality to that character. And then just the bond that he has with James Marsden's character is fucking adorable.
It's great.
And, like, I just love that, like, I think, honestly, my favorite part of that entire movie is just that fucking bar scene.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
And I started off being like, oh, God, this could be really bad, but it was really cute. Yeah. It was really, really cute that, like, he fucking, like, brings him in, like, kind of in a disguise, and then, like, they just have a bar fight. And, like, we were kind of joking, and I think even, like, Andre, Black Nerd, who's an amazing reviewer as well, he had a lot of the same thoughts that we did about the movie. But, like, it definitely, like, almost 100% stole the Quicksilver.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Quicksilver shit
totally
from
X-Men.
Yeah. They did two scenes like that, basically.
They did it
right?
in Days of Future Past, and they did it in Apocalypse.
Yeah. So it was basically 100% like that, a scene like that, but it was different enough that I didn't care, and I was like, no, this makes sense for him too, man, because he's fucking fast, and that's all he is fast. Like I said, there's not a huge backstory to Sonic other than he's fast and he collects rings, and he's fast. Like, and he always like wants to go fast, and that's his thing, is he loves going fast, and so it's about him. Because he's like, I gotta go fast, love going fast. So him getting to go fast and like do this bar fight, and he's already having like the fucking time of his life. He was just like, oh god, this is gonna be fucking sweet. And so he's just like having fun, going fast in this scene, like, and fucking with people and like moving things around and like goofing with people's hair and like. And
then when you get to the final battle scenes with him and Robotnik too, was like super cool to see how they did that scene with. You see it somewhat in the trailer of him like racing across, I think across the Great Wall and like Egypt and stuff like that. But yeah, like it just really, really worked. Everything that they did was pretty darn successful, I think. But the most exciting thing is because it was successful, we are hopefully going to get a sequel. And the way that they teased out the end of this movie is absolutely perfect for a sequel. Because, well, we'll start off because I think the first scene is important. We really got to see the kind of like Green Hill Zone area, which is like his home planet. Which totally looked like the video game, but just expanded into a 3D world.
It was gorgeous.
So gorgeous.
I was like, that's the best. Like, even, like, and I'm counting, like, and I've watched a lot of Game Grumps, and they play, like, all the new games. Not, I mean, one of the newer ones, I think, that they've played is, like, it looks pretty cool. But this is, like, fucking, like, next goddamn level. Like, if they don't, after this movie, if they can't make a fucking beautiful looking Sonic game, I'm gonna be very disappointed. But, it's like, it's like Tomb Raider level beautiful. Like,
no, it's great. So cool. You get that hint of it, and then you get a kind of a scene with this character that's new, Longclaw or whatever, this owl that has brought him up, and then you get these Echidna ninja looking figures that kind of look like Knuckles. They never say Knuckles or anything in the beginning, and but they get chased, and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of like Knuckles' like species or whatever. But the end of this movie is so perfect, and obviously Rachel had been like saying this before, and she's like, if Tails is not in this movie, I'm gonna be so mad. And then you get that mid-credit scene of Tails showing up from the portal trying to find Sonic, and it's like, oh my god, I cannot wait for another one of these movies. I want them to be able to show me Tails with Sonic, and then also Knuckles. Like, I hope they do it. I really hope they do it. I almost want them to just throw everything in and be like, throw in Metal Sonic too. Fuck it. Make Robotnik make a Metal Sonic. Just throw it in there. But I'm very excited. Amy. Yeah.
Bring her in.
Yeah. No,
But all I wanted was Tails. Well, I also like really liked that they like almost very slowly over the course of the movie made Jim Carrey look more and more like Robotnik.
Yes, the progression was great.
Yeah, and then the fact that like he gets banished to the Mushroom Planet where originally Sonic was going to go live, because that was like the next place he was going to go to, where he didn't think he would get found. So he sends Robotnik there, and then they that's the first mid credits thing you see is him on, for however long it's been now, on the Mushroom Planet, and he looks literally exactly like Robotnik.
Like the video game, yeah.
He's bald with the huge, like, crazy red mustache, and I was just like, yes! Like, I'm like, I really like that a lot, where it's like, at the beginning, like, because in the beginning you're kind of like, okay, like, because that's the thing, with the first trailer, I was like, it's like, kind of disappointing, because you're like, okay, why is every single, like, movie nowadays, especially superhero movies, like, why do they try to make them not look like their character designs?
Yeah.
And, like, that was the thing, you know, with Sonic initially, is that, like, they really didn't make him look anything like his character design.
No, they didn't. No.
And, so, like, I think...
And that's why the backlash happened, was
and that's the thing, is, like, so I think... So that was the kind of, it was like, okay, I get that they have to make Robotnik more modernized because people don't look like that just normally.
Yeah, if you're going to do it in the real world.
Like, it's kind of weird.
He has to start off in a certain place.
But I love that they got him there.
Yeah.
I love that they took him there. Like, it would, like I said, because it's like, it would have been nice if you had started like an X-Men movie where they look a certain way, but then like over time you get them to where like...
Yeah,
they're
and
wearing,
that's what they did.
You know, more like... things that look like their character and stuff like that. And so like, and I loved that they did that. So I love that they made him look more like robotic. I love that they made Sonic look more like Sonic with the shoes. And then I love that they fucking added Tails at the end. I was just like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Yes, thank you.
Happy.
And
pretty
so it's
happy.
like, and that's the thing is like, I feel like they must have not only looked at that, but they must have looked at the fact that people were like, I really want to see Tails.
Like, I'm hoping that they already knew that they were going to do that. I don't think that was an add-on.
Yeah.
I think that was already going to be the thing. But I think because the backlash was so bad with the Sonic's first design, I'm hoping they probably redesigned what Tails looked like at the end as well to match.
Yeah.
And then
that and I think maybe like at least some of the stuff with Jim Carrey, I think they may have added in too.
Yeah.
He looked more like him.
Possibly, or they may have adjusted it a little bit in post or whatever to make it look even more like that. But I think there was already like imagery out there of him in that scene like early on. So it's cool that they got him there. Yeah. And that I'm hoping the next movie we're going to go even further and get even more of that to see.
Well, yeah, it looks like that'll be the thing is he'll finally have worked his way back to Earth and then is going to get revenge.
Or he's going to be taking over Sonic's old. I think they're going to go back to Sonic's old planet.
That would be cool.
And I think that's where the next movie is going to be because I'm assuming Tails is coming.
Can James Marsden come though?
Yeah, right. But that's what I'm assuming what Tails is coming to do is to get Sonic and bring him back to his home world and fight off whatever is happening there. And that would be my pitch. I'm obviously for the next movie. I just would want to live in Sonic's world.
Yeah.
And like get to see that more and more. But yeah, I don't have much bad to say about that movie.
Yeah, like I said, as long as you go into it knowing like this is for kids. It's gonna have
there's gonna be some cheesy dialogue.
There's gonna be some cheesiness. Yeah. There's gonna be some fart jokes. There's gonna be like really like super super cheesy like smarmy stuff.
But you're gonna look and find like a bunch of Sonic Easter eggs. You're gonna see him do the toe tapping thing. You're gonna see him do the teetering thing on the edge of a cabinet or whatever.
Well, that was the one thing I don't think I ever really knew about. Was I just recently watched a little blip of Ben Schwartz. This is called Sonic on Sonic, so he's playing it's not like the very first Sonic game.
Yeah.
And he said, he's like, oh, you see this? He's like, hey, look at this. And he got to like the edge of like a cliff or a little like plateau, and Sonic, the character, does this like little like teetering animation, like he's trying to catch himself. And Ben Schwartz said, he's like, if there is a point where I'm in my bedroom running around and they animated that, like, whoa.
Yeah.
Thing and I was like, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, they did that. They brought in the coin sound as well, the coins dropping out of his bag and all that stuff. They did a really good job of incorporating all of those things within the story. So I was very happy. Very, very happy. And I would highly recommend you go watch it if you haven't already. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all we had for this episode. It's been 5 years of the show. Clap, clap, clap. That thing went by on Valentine's Day. So thank you guys for joining up, and not joining up, but subscribing and listening to the podcast. If you like it, please subscribe. Leave a review if you'd like. We are also on Spotify and Google Play and all those places. Everywhere you can find our show. And we're also going to be also on YouTube as well with the show. So if you like to watch it on YouTube, you can. It's not going to be video. It's just going to be the audio, but we have it available for you on YouTube if you want to just turn it on and listen to it.
Us play games. Other stuff on YouTube as well. Yeah. So if you want to... And also stuff of us actually.
Yeah, vlogging and stuff like that.
See our pretty faces. Yay.
Yeah. But anyway, hopefully you guys had a great week.
Join my Patreon.
Join Rachel's Patreon if you can. Patreon.com/LadyRaygun. We were doing cool pictures there.
I need money, guys.
This month's thing is an angel set that we did, and hopefully next month we'll be doing the fallen angel set for the next month. Yep. But yeah, keep an eye out on that on her Instagram page and patreon.com/LadyRaygun. We'll have links in the description as well for all that stuff. Yeah. Go forth and be nerdy. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
all we. Don't be sure you ever heard, you see. It will be in your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hear me. Cause we the nerdlies, the nerdies. All we. Don't be sure you ever heard, you see. It will be in your eardrum like an infectious beat. We complete. They like when the short and long hear me. Cause we the nerdlies, the nerdlies.